I've spent over 40 years studying success and failure. I've walked with millionaires and I've walked with the broke. I've counseled the prosperous and I've counseled those in despair. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, discipline is everything. Now, I didn't say discipline is important. I didn't say discipline is valuable. I said discipline is everything. And today I want to share with you why this one quality, this one decision, this one daily practice will transform every single area of your life. You see, most people are looking for the magic answer. They're looking for the secret formula, the hidden shortcut. They say, Jim, just tell me how to get rich quick. Or Jim, just tell me how to lose weight without changing my habits. But that's not how life works, is it? Life doesn't pay off for the person looking for the easy way. Life pays off for the person willing to pay the price. And what is that price? Discipline? The nature of discipline. Discipline isn't complicated, but it isn't easy either. Discipline is simply doing what you know you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's it. No magic, no mystery. Discipline is getting up an hour earlier to study when your body begs for more sleep. Discipline is saving 10% of your sinking when that new car is calling your name. Discipline is choosing the apple instead of the donut when nobody's watching. Discipline is making one more sales call when you've already faced rejection all day. But here's what's fascinating about discipline. It's available to everyone. You don't need special talents. You don't need wealthy parents. You don't need a college degree. All you need is the decision to discipline your life starting today, starting now. Now let me share something profound with you. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. When you choose the discipline of saving money today, it might feel like a small sacrifice. But when you reach retirement with financial security instead of desperation, you'll understand the weight of regret that you've avoided. When you choose the discipline of controlling your words today, it might seem like a small matter. But when you built relationships of trust instead of broken bridges, you'll understand the weight of regret that you've avoided. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that can last a lifetime. The mathematics of discipline. Let me tell you about the mathematics of discipline. It's not complex arithmetic, it's simple addition and multiplication. But most people never grasp it. You see, discipline compounds. Small, disciplined actions repeated over time create massive results. If you save just $100 per month, that's about $3 per day, less than a fancy coffee, and invested at a modest 8% return, do you know what happens over 40 years? You end up with over $300,000. From coffee money, that's the mathematics of financial discipline. If you read just 10 pages of a good book every day that takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes, do you know what happens over a year? You finish about 15 books. Over 10 years, 150 books. That's more than most people read in a lifetime. That's the mathematics of intellectual discipline. If you walk just 30 minutes every day, that's just 2% of your day. Do you know what happens over a year? You burn over 40,000 additional calories. That's the equivalent of 11 pounds of body fat. That's the mathematics of physical discipline. All disciplines practiced consistently create massive results over time. The problem is most people can't see the connection between today's small choice and tomorrow's big result. They can't connect the dots. But successful people, disciplined people, they connect those dots. They see how today's small decision creates tomorrow's big reward. And that brings me to an important truth. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. It is the accumulative weight of our disciplines and our judgments that leads us to either fortune or failure. The enemies of discipline. Now, if discipline is so powerful, and it is, why don't more people practice it? Let me tell you about the enemies of discipline. There are three major ones, and you must defeat them all. The first enemy is the voice of instant gratification. This is the voice that says you deserve it now. This is the voice that says, why wait? This is the voice that says life is short, indulge yourself. And this voice isn't entirely wrong, is it? Life is short. You do deserve good things. But here's what that voice doesn't tell you. The best things in life come after the wait, not before it. The greatest pleasures in life come through achievement, not indulgence. The second enemy of discipline is the excuse. Oh, the excuse is clever. The excuse sounds so reasonable. I'm too tired today. I'll start tomorrow. This is a special occasion. I'll get back on track next week. Nobody else is doing it. Why should I? I've got news for you. Excuses change nothing. You can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. The third enemy of discipline is the crowd. Most people simply aren't disciplined. Most people live for today with little thought of tomorrow. Most people choose what's easy over what's effective. And if you follow the crowd, you'll get what the crowd gets. And what the crowd gets is average at best, mediocre in the middle, and disaster at worst. Remember this. If you want to achieve what the top 5% achieve, you can't do what the bottom 95% do. You must separate yourself. You must be willing to stand apart. You must be willing to be disciplined when others are distracted. The disciplines of life. Let's talk about the specific disciplines that create an extraordinary life, because discipline isn't just one thing, it's many things applied to many areas. Financial discipline. First, financial discipline. This means spending less than you earn always. This means saving at least 10% of every dollar that comes your way. This means investing for the long term, not speculating for the quick win. Financial discipline means understanding that money doesn't respond to need or want or hope. Money only responds to plans and actions. It doesn't matter how badly you need money or how desperately you want money. Money only comes through disciplined activity. Most people have this backwards. They think when I have more money, then I'll get disciplined with it. Wrong. You must get disciplined with the little you have, and then you'll have more. You must prove you can manage $1,000 before life will trust you with $10,000. You must prove you can manage $10,000 before life will trust you with $100,000. Remember, financial freedom isn't about luck. It isn't about circumstances. It's about discipline. Discipline to spend less, discipline to save more, discipline to invest wisely. Discipline to increase your skills and your value to the marketplace. Physical discipline. Next, physical discipline. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience everything in life. If your vehicle breaks down, what good is the journey? Physical discipline means giving your body the nutrition it needs, not just the pleasure it craves. Physical discipline means moving your body regularly, not just when it's convenient. Physical discipline means getting proper rest, not just collapsing from exhaustion. And here's something fascinating. Physical discipline affects everything else. When your body is strong and healthy and energized, your mind works better. Your emotions are more stable. Your confidence is higher. Your stamina for work is greater. The discipline of physical self-care isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's not something you do after you've achieved success. It's part of what creates your success. Mental discipline. Then there's mental discipline. In a world of constant distraction, the ability to focus your mind is increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Mental discipline means feeding your mind good information, not mental junk food. Mental discipline means thinking through problems, not avoiding them. Mental discipline means questioning your assumptions, not just defending your opinions. The mind is like a garden. You can plant it intentionally or you can neglect it. Either way, something will grow, but only the disciplined gardener of the mind harvests ideas worth having. I've often said that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. But self-education requires mental discipline. It requires the discipline to read when others are watching television. It requires the discipline to listen to educational audio when others are listening to gossip. It requires the discipline to think when others are merely reacting. Emotional discipline. Next, we have emotional discipline. This might be the most overlooked form of discipline, but it's one of the most important. Emotional discipline means controlling your reactions, not letting your reactions control you. Emotional discipline means choosing your attitude, not just expressing whatever you feel. Emotional discipline means directing your focus toward solutions, not problems. Most people let circumstances determine their emotions. If things go well, they feel good. If things go poorly, they feel bad. But the disciplined person understands that emotions can be chosen, not just experienced. You can choose to be grateful even when things are difficult. You can choose to be confident even when facing uncertainty. You can choose to be calm even when surrounded by chaos. And why does this matter? Because your emotions drive your actions and your actions create your results. Undisciplined emotions lead to undisciplined actions, which lead to undisciplined results. Time discipline. Then there's time discipline. We all have the same 24 hours, but some people accomplish vastly more than others. Why? Time discipline. Time discipline means knowing the difference between activity and productivity. Time discipline means focusing on your priorities, not just your preferences. Time discipline means saying no to the good so you can say yes to the best. Most people don't need more time. They just need to make better use of the time they have. They need to stop majoring in minor things. They need to stop spending major time on minor activities. Remember, you can't make more time, but you can make time more productive. You can't save time, but you can invest time. And the disciplined investment of time creates compound returns, just like the disciplined investment of money. Relationship discipline. Finally, there's relationship discipline. Your relationships will determine much of your joy and much of your success. But great relationships don't just happen, they require discipline. Relationship discipline means keeping your promises even when it's inconvenient. Relationship discipline means controlling your words, especially when you're angry. Relationship discipline means giving attention, not just seeking attention. Most people approach relationships casually. They invest when it's easy and withdraw when it's hard. But the disciplined person understands that relationships, like all valuable things, must be built consistently, not occasionally. The process of building discipline. Now, how do you develop discipline if you don't have it? Because let's be honest, many of us weren't raised with strong discipline. Many of us have developed habits of comfort rather than habits of growth. Here's the process. First, start small. Don't try to transform your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, choose one small area and build discipline there. Maybe it's making your bed every morning. Maybe it's drinking water instead of soda. Maybe it's saving $10 per week. Start with something so small that you can't say no. Second, create accountability. Tell someone else what you're going to do. Track your progress visibly. Create consequences for yourself. Discipline is easier when you know someone is watching, even if that someone is just you, watching yourself through documentation. Third, anticipate obstacles. Discipline isn't tested when everything goes according to plan. Discipline is tested when life gets in the way. So ask yourself, what might prevent me from keeping my commitment? Then develop a plan for those obstacles before they occur. Fourth, attach discipline to your identity. Don't just say, I want to save money. Say, I am a saver. Don't just say, I want to exercise. Say, I am an athlete. When discipline becomes part of your identity, it becomes much harder to betray. Fifth, practice forgiveness, but not permission. When you fail, and you will fail sometimes, don't use that as an excuse to abandon discipline. Forgive yourself, learn the lesson, and get back on track immediately. Don't give yourself permission to continue failing. Remember, discipline isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. The rewards of discipline. Let me tell you about the rewards of discipline because they are magnificent. First, there's the reward of achievement. When you become a disciplined person, you actually accomplish what you set out to do. You don't just talk about writing a book, you write it. You don't just talk about starting a business, you start it. You don't just talk about getting in shape, you get in shape. There's an incredible satisfaction in setting a goal and then achieving it through disciplined effort. There's a pride that comes from knowing you did what you said you would do. And this sense of achievement builds upon itself. Each disciplined success creates confidence for the next challenge. Second, there's the reward of freedom. Now this seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? How can discipline create freedom? Doesn't discipline restrict freedom? Actually, no. Discipline is the path to freedom, not away from it. The person with financial discipline gains financial freedom. The person with health discipline gains freedom from illness and limitation. The person with time discipline gains freedom from chaos and overwhelm. Discipline is like the banks of a river. Without banks, a river becomes a swamp, stagnant and going nowhere. The banks don't restrict the river, they channel its power and give it direction. Discipline does the same for your life. Third, there's the reward of influence. Disciplined people naturally gain the respect of others. When people see that you do what you say, that you control yourself, that you can be counted on, they give you their trust. And trust is the foundation of influence. If you want to lead others, whether it's your family, your team, your company, or your community, you must first lead yourself. And self-leadership begins with self-discipline. Fourth, there's the reward of character. This might be the greatest reward of all. Discipline builds character, and character determines destiny. You see, what you get by achieving your goals isn't as important as what you become by achieving your goals. The external rewards of discipline, the money, the recognition, the achievements, these are wonderful. But the internal reward, the person you become, that's the true prize. When you practice discipline, you become someone who can be trusted by others and by yourself. You become someone with strength of mind and strength of will. You become someone who doesn't just talk about values but lives them. You become someone worthy of the opportunities that life presents. The decision for discipline. So let me ask you, are you ready to choose discipline? Are you ready to do what others won't so you can have what others don't? Are you ready to pay the price of success instead of the price of failure? Because make no mistake, you will pay a price either way. There's a price for discipline and there's a price for lack of discipline. And the price of discipline, though steep, is never as costly as the price of regret. Today, right now, you can make a decision that will change everything. You can decide that from this day forward, you will be a disciplined person. Not a perfect person. Perfection isn't required. But a disciplined person who does what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Start with one area. Start with one habit. Start with one decision. But start. Because a year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Remember, it's not what we do occasionally that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. And consistency comes from discipline. Perhaps you've heard me say before that there are two pains in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. Choose the weight you want to carry. The daily disciplines. Let me share with you some specific daily disciplines that, if practiced consistently, will transform your life completely. First, the discipline of early rising. I recommend getting up at least 1 hour before you have to. Use this time for yourself, for planning, for learning, for exercise, for meditation. This one habit alone can change your life. The quiet hours of the morning before the world's demands begin are priceless for personal development. I found that successful people are rarely late sleepers. They understand that the early morning offers a tranquility and focus that can't be found at any other time of day. Second, the discipline of planning. Take time each evening to plan the next day. Take time each weekend to plan the next week. Take time each month to review and plan the next month. Without a plan, you'll drift. With a plan, you'll direct. And remember, planning isn't just about scheduling activities. It's about deciding priorities. It's about making sure the important doesn't get pushed aside by the urgent. Third, the discipline of continual learning. Set aside time each day to read, to listen, to learn. The world is changing faster than ever before. The only security is the ability to learn continuously. I recommend reading at least 30 minutes daily. I recommend listening to educational audio during your commute or exercise. I recommend attending seminars and workshops regularly. The investment in your mind always pays the highest return. Fourth, the discipline of health management. Your health affects everything else. Make time for exercise, even if it's just a 30-minute walk. Make smart choices about food, not perfect choices, but smart choices most of the time. Get adequate rest. Your brain and body need recovery time. Fifth, the discipline of financial management. Track every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. Save a percentage of every paycheck before you pay anyone else. Invest for the long term, not the quick return. Live below your means, not at your means, and certainly not beyond your means. Sixth, the discipline of time blocking. Don't just make a to-do list. Block time in your calendar for your most important activities. Protect this time as you would any important appointment. Remember, if it's not scheduled, it's not real. Seventh, the discipline of relationship investment. Make time for the people who matter most. Don't just give them your leftover time, give them your best time. Be fully present. Listen deeply. Express appreciation regularly. Eighth, the discipline of gratitude. End each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. This simple habit retrains your brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, opportunity rather than obstacle. These 8 daily disciplines, practiced consistently, will completely transform your life. Not overnight, but over time. Not easily, but certainly. The challenge of discipline. Now, let me be very clear about something. Discipline is hard. If it were easy, everyone would be disciplined. Everyone would be successful. Everyone would be fulfilled. But most people aren't willing to pay the price. Most people choose comfort over growth. Most people choose immediate pleasure over lasting success. And that's good news for you. Because it means that by simply choosing discipline, by simply doing what most won't do, you automatically separate yourself from the crowd. You automatically position yourself for uncommon success. The challenge of discipline isn't just that it's difficult. The challenge is that it's difficult daily. It's not about making the right choice once. It's about making the right choice again and again and again. It's saying no to that extra dessert not just today, but tomorrow and the next day. It's saving that 10% not just from this paycheck, but from every paycheck. It's controlling your words not just in this difficult conversation, but in every difficult conversation. And that's where most people fail. They can summon the willpower for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But true discipline isn't about willpower. It's about habits, about systems. It's about identity. The disciplined person doesn't need to decide every morning whether to exercise. They've already decided they're an exerciser. It's part of who they are, not just what they occasionally do. The disciplined person doesn't need to wrestle with the temptation to overspend. They've already decided they're a saver and investor. It's part of who they are, not just what they occasionally do. The key to discipline isn't more willpower. The key is creating environments, routines, and identities that make discipline natural, not forced. The community of discipline. Let me tell you something important. Discipline is contagious. When you practice discipline, you inspire others. And when you surround yourself with disciplined people, you strengthen your own discipline. That's why I strongly encourage you to be intentional about your associations. The people you spend time with will either raise your standards or lower them. They'll either strengthen your discipline or weaken it. Choose wisely. Join mastermind groups where success is expected. Find workout partners who show up no matter what. Read books by disciplined achievers. Listen to messages that reinforce the value of discipline. As I've often said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Make sure those 5 people are models of discipline, not examples of drift. And remember, sometimes the most important relationship to manage is your relationship with yourself. The conversations you have with yourself, the standards you set for yourself, the promises you keep to yourself, these determine your level of discipline more than any external factor. The legacy of discipline. Let me share a final thought about discipline, perhaps the most important thought of all. Discipline isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become and what you leave behind. When you live a disciplined life, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own achievements. You become an example to others, especially to the young people watching you. Your children, your grandchildren, your students, your employees, they're all learning from how you live. And what are they learning? If you practice discipline, they learn that success doesn't come from luck, but from consistent effort. They learn that character matters more than momentary convenience. They learn that they too can achieve great things through disciplined action. Your discipline today creates ripples that extend far into the future, affecting lives you may never meet, creating impact you may never see. And isn't that worth the price? Isn't that worth the daily decision to choose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, excellence over mediocrity? I believe it is. I believe you believe it too. The decision time. So here we are at the moment of decision. Not a decision about what you know. I believe you already know the value of discipline. But a decision about what you'll do with what you know. Will you leave here today with good intentions that fade by tomorrow? Or will you leave with a commitment that transforms your life? Will you continue to do what you've always done, getting the results you've always gotten? Or will you embrace discipline and create the life you truly desire? The choice is yours. It always has been. But know this, you have everything you need to become a person of discipline. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. You just need to decide. Decide that discipline is non-negotiable. Decide that your dreams are worth the effort. Decide that your potential is worth the sacrifice. Decide that your future is worth more than your momentary comfort. As I look at each of you, I see incredible potential. I see dreams waiting to be fulfilled. I see lives waiting to be transformed. And the key to unlocking all of it is discipline. Discipline truly is everything, not just something important, not just something valuable. Everything. Because with discipline, anything is possible. And without it, even the possible becomes impossible. The choice is yours. Choose well. Thank you.